Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us again for Food for Thought. My name is Sunil Chandy, and this is a ministry out of Christ Episcopal Church. And we thank you for being with us today. And I'm actually doing the show not from the church, as you could probably imagine, but my office. But it's a different vantage point. You get to see my coat hanger on the other side there. Sorry about that. And then also the Princeton Theological Seminary, and of course the cross. And that's how versatile we are. We are able to adapt and conform to the needs of the day. And so we thank you for being with us, connecting with us today. In particular, this is a show that is just done earlier today. So we asked you to continue to chat with us. Tell us how you enjoy the show, how you are connecting with us, where you're from. That would be an interesting thing to hear as people connect with us, because we are now, according to our statistics, over 40 countries and I think 18 different languages. They translate us, and so it's really pretty powerful. And we thank God for our growing community. Today is more of a time to talk about one of the events that we have in our Westerly community, an event that is powerful and has been here before I even started here 7 years ago. It's been a continuing tradition, and we're going to have our producer of the show, Ben, talk to us a little bit about that. Ben, come on over.
Hey, everybody. Father Sunil, I haven't been on the show with you in a while.
Oh, God. That really is surprising. Yeah, but you're always with me. You're like that disembodied voice, the voice that's always there that comforts me. I go, Ben, make it so, and then all of a sudden it appears.
I know, but I haven't been a guest on the show in quite a while, which is more than fine. But today, well, first I want to, before we get to Fallfest and I shill stuff for Caswell, I want to say, and Misquamicut and the Westerly community, and it's a wonderful event, and I'll get there in a second. But I want to talk about what you said about some of the statistics of the show of Food for Thought, and not only Food for Thought, but all of Christ Church Ministries. We were looking into some of the statistics recently, and yeah, it's incredible what you guys have built organically.
All of us. You are part of you guys.
Thank you. But it's really impressive. So Christ Church's online ministry, which includes Food for Thought, choral Eucharist service on Sunday mornings, sermons from Sunday aired on Monday, Ask a Priest, 2 episodes, 2 services of Compline, a service of morning prayer every week. Those are seen in 43 cities around America weekly. Wow. In 41 countries around the world weekly, wow. And watched in 18 different languages, wow. Which is insane. So what happens, obviously we don't translate them, but Facebook, wherever the person is watching from and whatever the person's native language is, the Facebook will put the auto-generated subtitles. So people are watching you speak English, but reading what you're saying and following along, and that's incredible and astounding, and not something that I think that we've ever had the perspective on until very recently.
I know, that's interesting, because one of the things about the pandemic, now that you think about it, I've been watching these Korean dramas on Netflix, and I'm getting used to reading the subtitles, but still being able to read the emotions of the actors and people who are in conversation. And so it's not surprising. I mean, it's surprising. It's not surprising that God is using this ministry to continue to help connect us, human beings, across cultures and across nations. It's beautiful.
I agree. And one of the initiatives that speaking of connecting people, one of the initiatives that we've been working on with Food for Thought is we've had this lovely experience of talking to people like Jerusalem Greer, who have talked about how much of a cutting edge and at the forefront what Christ Church is doing in the online ministry space of the Episcopal Church, and what a beacon it is. And so because of that, we have been able to get a lot of priests, rectors, people that are doing really cool things from around the country on Food for Thought recently. And you and I taped an episode this morning with a lovely church leader from Philadelphia who's doing amazing things. Yeah, and so watching that grow, and watching the networking of all of these people who are coming together to help their own communities and help the communities at large, is wonderful. And so I want to say thank you for your part in allowing me to have a small part in it. And also congratulations on the success of growing this community and this ministry for the last year and a half.
No, it's great. You know what? No, thank you. I'm grateful to God, because God brings all of these elements that we need to have in order to continue to do ministry in profound ways. I liken to Fred Allardyce, one of our vestry members and former senior ward, said this, and this is like an old metaphor. I mean, you get lemons, you make lemonade out of it. You have the challenges before us. The challenge is, how do we connect in a world that's filled with a global pandemic, and then you start to be creative, and you start to allow your heart and mind to be open to God's Spirit to lead you. And that's what we're doing at Christ Church. I was speaking with a bishop just recently, and I'm hoping to have him on the show too. A wonderful man who does some really great work in the Diocese of Minnesota. And he was saying that, we're Facebook friends, and he said, Sunil, you're doing some amazing work. It's powerful. It's connecting with people in a powerful and new way. And it was good to hear and get a pat on the back, but I know that it's not a pat on my back. It's a pat on our backs, all of us working together to try to make lemonade out of lemons, right? And
Yep.
and the one who is responsible is the one that we all worship together, God. And so I thank God for bringing you into our lives, Ben. That's what I'm grateful for.
Same. All right, let's now do an abrupt change, and I will do it by changing everything. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I love it.
All right.
Make it so.
Yeah. So all right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about Misquamicut Beach's Fall Fest, Westerly's biggest party of this end the summer on the beach. It is coming back. The Misquamicut Beach usually has 2 festivals a year, and we've now missed 3. We missed Spring Fest 2020, Fall Fest 2020, and Spring Fest 2021. But after 2 long years, we are now back on the beach, and it's amazing. The rides have all been set up there. The people are putting the finishing touches at Rockwell Amusements, are putting the finishing touches on right now, and you're going to be able to ride the Ferris wheel and overlook the Atlantic Ocean again, which is the most breathtaking sight. And the vendors are all ready to set up tomorrow morning. It starts tomorrow at 5 p.m., Friday at 5 p.m. It's Friday 5 to 11, Saturday 11 to 11, and Sunday 11 to 5. And let me just, well, first, if you don't mind, I'll just play the commercial first, and then I'll go. So, all right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is from the wonderful Chris Walsh.
Surf, sun, and sand. Great food, a Ferris wheel, rides, games, and fun, fun, fun. That's what's in store for you at the Misquamicut Fall Festival, September 17th, 18th, and 19th at Misquamicut State Beach. Entertainment all weekend long features local and national acts. The Misquamicut Fall Festival is a family-friendly event with carnival rides, magic shows, karate demos, arts and crafts, a food truck rodeo, chainsaw wood carving, and so much more. Go to MisquamicutFestival.org for more information.
All right, now that the commercial part is over, let's go back to Christchurch. But I will still tell you about the event. First of all, I imagine that with Caswell, who's the executive director of the Misquamicut Business Association, being the senior warden of Christ Church, I assume that you have been to several spring and fall festivals, Father Sunil.
Definitely. I think, one of the things that I love being a priest is, and I think this is a model that have sometimes been lost on us, is that we think that the spiritual community has to be set apart. They have to be somehow separated from what happens in the community, and so you kind of just go to church on Sunday to be kind of like almost a sense of like holier than thou, right? But that's not the model Jesus taught us. Jesus, if you look at his ministry and look at his work, he was always engaged with people. He went to where people were. And, so he was hanging out with tax collectors. He was hanging out at parties. He was hanging out with those folks that are out there living life and finding joy, and maybe even helping them to find deeper connections. And so that's why I always believe, and in every ministry, and especially this ministry at Christ Church, it's bringing the community into the church, bringing the church out into the community. So we had a couple of years ago, we had a booth at Fallfest. We had where we just simply said, look, you can ask the priest anything. We have some muffins, we have coffee. You could, here, but look, meet the priest. Meet the priest at Christ Church, and it was great meeting different people. And one of the things is really funny is that in these community events, you see people come out and they're dancing, they're enjoying, and they kind of like, at first they're disarmed because, the priest is supposed to be in the church, but then they know that we're human beings, right? We're human beings that just love God, and God calls us to have joy and hope, and even in the midst of challenge, and joy and hope to be amongst people who enjoy themselves, out in the park,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's one of the strengths of the church, right? Like that goes back to the point of food for thought, honestly, which is, when you and I had a lot of conversations about because food for thought started before I came in, for like a week. It was you, at noon, lunchtime, food for thought. At lunch, you signing in and reading a little bit of scripture and reading and saying prayers with people and reminding everyone that it was going to be okay and giving them some perspective. And then I came on board very shortly after that, so that we could, bring on Bishop Nisley and some guests and stuff. And we talked about what that would look like going forward. And the goal was always, that, the church has such this historic place as a center of the community. And that is really what hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. So appreciate it. So anyway, the church has such a center of being has such a history of being the center of the community. And and that was the goal of that. And that's the, like, when you do things like homecoming, like you just had, where it's a fun place to be. The Eucharistic walk that you just did, the meditation, through the preserve that you did like a month or so ago, the Spray Rock Run that's coming up on October 2nd. Like these are not only just church-based events, but they're community-based events. And the reason for that is to sort of, show people that it's like you're a human being and they are human, and there's a real connection between everyone, and that's so important. So I love that.
You bring up a very important theological point.
As I often do.
Yeah. And that is this, that things in this world that the created world doesn't have to be fractured, doesn't have to be split up, doesn't have to be isolated from one another. They are called, because we have a creator that's unified and one, they are called to be integrated, right? We tend to compartmentalize our lives. Spirituality on Sunday, worship on Sunday. We have to be good people on Sunday, and then Monday we live life, right? We engage in the stuff of life. But that's not how God comes. In the midst of Scripture and in the midst of Jesus, God, what we do is we believe in a God that incarnates God's self in the midst of all of creation. And so what we have to do, if we want to have a life filled with harmony and balance, we have to realize that. And we have to understand that deep wisdom that connects all of us. And so that deep wisdom also helps us, prevents us, or helps us to make choices that are helpful. So that our lives can be not only joyful and hopeful, but also, meeting the challenges of the day. And then we don't have to add more challenges on top of ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
We learn how to be kind to one another. We learn how to be good. We learn how to see the image of God within ourselves and also in our neighbor. And that's why we do the things that we do. It's all integrated. It's all
absolutely
integrated,
This was supposed to be like a 10-minute infomercial for Fallfest, and you and I cannot help but have a deep conversation about spirituality and life and God. And so let's go back to the infomercial for just a second.
Let it be so.
All right, so here is the main stage acts. This is what we have coming up at Fallfest. Friday night, tomorrow night, September 17th, 5:30, Completely Destroyed. By the way, if you show up between 5 and 5:30, there is a 8-piece jazz band playing in the back of a Cadillac, a Dixieland jazz band playing in the back of a Cadillac at the entrance of Fallfest. If you are one of the first people to show up between 5 and 5:30 tomorrow. 5:30 on the main stage, Completely Destroyed, which is a dad punk rock band with some famous Rhode Island TV celebrities from various news networks. 6:45 we have Dopey Lopes and the Up All Night Band. 8:15 we have Jeff Slate and Friends on Saturday. From 11 to 1 we have some wonderful children's entertainment, family friendly full entertainment. Magic of Larry and David, kids entertainment. Author Julia Reed is going to be reading her children's books and there to sign autographs and sign the book. At 1:30 we have Morgan Betancourt and Friends. Obviously Morgan is the daughter of Julie Cardinal, and I'm actually going to do an interview with her tonight to talk a little bit about the Cardinal Foundation. 3 p.m. Ryan Piccolo. 4 p.m. Nick Bossy and the Northern Roots, who is he has... I'll have to have you talk to Nick Bossy soon, Father Sunil. He has a new single out on Spotify that has about 200,000 listens right now.
Wow.
And he's from North Stonington. 6 p.m. we have One Swift Kick featuring Sal Palicetti. Sal Palicetti is the famous / infamous singer songwriter of the YouTube sensation, the accidental YouTube sensation, Jesus Is a Friend of Mine. From the 80s, and it was a Christian I don't really know, Christian pop song that was very forgotten about in the early 80s, and then someone put it on YouTube and now it has 17 million views.
Wow.
And it was covered on Glee and in the TV show Community, and now this man has toured all over Europe and can't buy himself a drink in England. So he will be here at 6:00. And then at 8:30 p.m. on Saturday night is Barry Goudreau's Engine Room. Barry Goudreau is the former guitarist of Boston, the band Boston. So he was the guitarist on Don't Look Back and More Than a Feelin'.
Wow.
And then Sunday we have Richard Lloyd Group. Richard Lloyd is the famous guitarist from the band Television and was there at the founding of CBGB's. And then from 2 to 5 is Scott Fowler and Southbound, featuring local favorite Nina J. So that's some of the entertainment. There's Jeff Slate. There's One Swift Kick. The guy in the middle there is Sal Palicetti. The Magic of Larry and David. Barry Goudreau's Engine Room. Nick Bossy, 4 p.m. and Southbound. And there you go. So that's Fall Fest.
Beautiful. I love it. I love the fact that, and I got to give a shout out to Caswell for let it be so. Caswell for organizing this and really connecting all these different pieces in our community and helping us. I thank God for his ministry.
You know who we should also give a shout out to is Amanda Reese, who's in charge of the festivals at Misquamicut.
Okay.
I'm sorry. She used to be Amanda Para. She used to be Amanda Reese. Caswell and I did a live stream yesterday where he was trying to talk to her about vendors, but she was there, handling all of the stuff that Caswell, and he himself said this, wants to run and hide from. So he has her deal with it, with the inspectors and all of the logistics. And she was pushing her child in a carriage while taking care of it, and is also currently 8 months pregnant.
Wow.
And running this thing. And so I think that we would be, very remiss if we did not give a huge shout out to her.
Amanda.
Yeah, Amanda. Yep.
Oh my God. You know what? And that reminds me, it takes a village. It takes a community of people to do things like this. It's not just one person. It's all of those people that are connected with that person and with the ministry and with the work that's engaged. Beautiful. Thanks, Ben.
Absolutely. Speaking of babies, because we're going off track, I know that we're pre-recording this. So when you're watching this right now, we've pre-recorded it. Father Eric told me last night after Compline that he's going to get to meet baby Julia today.
Yeah.
So that's very nice.
So and part of the reason why this is pre-recorded is because we're going to have a staff lunch, which in which we have invited Jackie and Julia back. Jackie is away on maternity leave after having Julia. So it's a good time for us, our staff, to kind of get acquainted with Julia again, and really. And we're looking forward to meeting Jackie again after a couple of weeks where we haven't seen her.
This is really all I know about the baby, is that she likes it when you stick your tongue out at her. She thinks it's funny. That's all I know. I'm terrible with kids, but that's so. If you need an icebreaker, just do a quick.
No, I'm not going to trust that. I love you, Ben, but I know you.
Just do it. Just right across at the restaurant. Just do that.
My first time meeting this, and my second or third time meeting Julia is going to be one in which I'm going to give this pastoral smile like Father Chandy does.
No.
She's going to love me.
No, not at all. Not if she's anything like her mother. Caswell wanted me to point out, he just sent me a text. He has no idea that we're recording this right now. He just wanted me to text face painting for children available all weekend at Fallfest.
Excellent.
So something else for the kids that don't like the pastoral smile or the babies.
I know, definitely not doing the tongue out.
I'm telling you, I had a quick FaceTime the other day. And it worked, and it was that was the advice I got, and it was the first smile I ever got. So,
oh my God, that's good.
All right, so yeah, we're come to Fall Fest. Hold on. Come to Fall Fest tomorrow, Friday, 5 to 11, Saturday, 11 to 11, Sunday, 11 to 5. It's going to be awesome. There's a classic car show. Oh, I'm so sorry. One thing, the classic car show on Sunday is going to be awesome, and it's featuring the people from Epic Movie Cars. And I think that you'll get a kick out of this. Epic Movie Cars. I don't know why I'm trying to share it so I can show you some of these, because I know that you're going to freak out about them, because I know you well enough.
I think I remember one time they had a Batmobile or something like
Yes.
that.
So okay. So here are some of the. So this is some of the things that they're gonna have. They're gonna have a trio of cars from Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And including this Jeep. And that Jeep, they're gonna have the time machine, the Tri-City time machine from the DeLorean, as it's more colloquially known.
Movie,
From
yeah.
Back to the Future. Herbie the Love Bug will be there.
Excellent.
Which is a big one for me, and the 1966 original Batmobile.
Yeah, I love that.
So
Space Ghostbusters.
So these are some of the other cars that they offer for Epic Movie Cars, but I'm not sure exactly which ones will be there and which ones won't. But I know that Herbie, the Tri-City Time Machine, the Batmobile, those will all be there.
Good. Excellent.
So check those out 11 to 3 on Sunday, and check out Epic Movie Cars because you can rent those for whatever you want. Maybe we'll get them for homecoming next year along with the dunking booth.
All right. Well, thank you, Ben, for being with us again. And it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, of course. But always
no problem. Sorry I'm so goofy this week.
That isn't unusual for you, but
no,
that's
it's not.
okay.
No,
that's
it's
why
not.
we love you.
It's fine.
All right. Thanks, buddy. We'll see you later. But thank you again for being with us on the show, and we hope that you'll connect. Help us by commenting about us. Tell us how this is, where this show meets you, and tell us what you find inspiring about the show. This helps us to really evaluate our ministry and our work here, and we thank you that we're able to do. We thank God for that we're able to do it. Now, as is our norm, let us spend our last few moments in prayer. The Lord be with you. This is a prayer adapted by one written by Bishop Thomas Brown of Maine. Jesus Christ, you traveled through towns and villages, curing every disease and illness. At your command, the sick were made well. Come to our aid now in the midst of the global spread of the coronavirus. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through quality medical care. Heal us from our fear, which prevents nations from working together and neighbors from helping one another. Be present with those in authority who are making hard decisions. Support the medical professionals, emergency responders, counselors, and caregivers. We ask this all in your name, Jesus. Amen. Join with me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Friends, go in peace to love and serve God. Spread the light and joy and hope of Christ and of God to the world around you. The world needs it right now.
Thanks for watching. Did you know that you can join Christ Church from anywhere in the world? If you're feeling connected to what we're doing, email us today at communicate@christchurchwesterly.org.